We are asking the question, is it ever okay to kill a cop? In the light of all of the killings of young Black African American men, as well as the cop shootings in Ferguson, we need to have this conversation. We need to talk about what's going on in our communities and talk about the relationships we all have with ourselves, the community, other people, and with law enforcement who are constantly policing us every day. So that is our question for today, and I know it's hot. Is it ever okay to kill a cop?
This is On the Couch with Dr. K, a show focused on answering the questions of urban and hip-hop adults rising to reach personal stars in daily life. Now, here's your host, Dr. K.
And good afternoon. You're listening to On the Couch with Dr. K. I am your hostess, Dr. K, right here on AM 990 Talk Radio. And let me tell you, today it is hot, 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 and not just outside. It is hot in here. And I have a hot topic for the day. And in fact, whenever I even stated the topic, everybody would go, oh my goodness, I can't believe you're even letting that come out of your mouth. But as we go along, you'll see the sensitivity to it. And I have some wonderful gentlemen in the studio with me today. We're going to get started by letting all of these super fine gentlemen introduce themselves. Now, I'm okay because a lot of these people in here I'm related to, thank goodness, in many ways. But we're going to start off directly to my right with a very talented young man. We will be hearing his very first hit single. Tell me the name of it again. Bible Out, and it is bumping. For lack of a better word, it is on the money. We'll hear it all day today. I'm going to let him introduce himself, but I will tell you his name is Dmercy. This young man reached out to me very recently, and I reached right back because I recognize talent very, very quickly. So, Dmercy, introduce yourself, sir.
What it do? I'm going to start out by saying my real name, Terrell, but I go by the rap name, Dmercy. Got a mixtape coming up. Prayer changes things. The reason I say prayer changes things, because we all know prayer changes things.
That's right.
You know, in bad situations, what we doing? We praying. You know, so that's why I say prayer changes things. So I just want to give a shout out to, all of my gospel rappers out there that's been behind me. Street gospel, the movement. Youth save the movement. You know, we have to save the youth. We want to take our youth back. Okay. So that, that's the reason I'm saying prayer change the thing. But y'all tune in for Bible Out. Because we all got to keep our Bible out in hard times.
All right.
We walk by faith and not by sight. Remember that.
Yeah, all right. And I'm not going to charge you the normal $20 that I charge people for a shameless plug because you're talking about God. So I ain't going to charge God. I'm going to keep on moving. Okay. Thank you, Dmercy. We're so glad to have you here. And we are moving right along. I'm going to let you introduce yourself. Terrell.
My name is Terrell Streeter.
All right, Terrell Streeter. Now, you're a streeter. You're going to have to tell us more about you, sir. More than you just have super-duper swagger. We have to know who you are and what's your relationship with police or the reason why you wanted to come here today.
Well, the reason why I wanted to come here today was just to holler at all my people in the city of Memphis.
All right.
I always respected the police. I don't feel it's right to kill no policeman or nothing like that, and won't advise nobody else to do it. And, I really ain't just got too much to say on that subject.
But you know what? That's important to know because this gentleman is tatted up, has lots of swagger, and people may believe that he thinks in another way, but he's already said he respects law enforcement. Right. But as we go on, we want to know, will law enforcement respect you? Right. So we're moving right along, and this gentleman, I'm going to tell you, he is on fire. He is with Hervery's Home Improvement Incorporated, and he does fire restoration, emergency board up in 24 hours. If your house burns up, you want him on the spot because you need someone to come in there, board it up, and secure it as quickly as possible because we know people use those opportunities to loot and to further destroy your lives. So we're looking at his Home Improvement Incorporation. He does residential, commercial, new construction, interior and exterior painting. Oh, I need you.
Yeah.
In business to save you money. I need that too. And he does professional work at an affordable price. He has so many certifications and so many letters. I'm going to say he's A through F certified. And if you want to talk with him, give him a call at 901-598-2785. That's 901-598-2785. And remember, that's 24 hours a day. And if you'd like to connect with him online, he's at Tim Hervery, that's TimHervery at hotmail.com. So now, introduce yourself, sir.
You did great.
Good evening. Lord have mercy. Good evening, world. I almost feel like Jesus.
Oh, my goodness.
I'll tell you, I feel like I'm on the cross, but I thank God for you, Dr. K.
All right.
And that great introduction.
Okay.
And I have something to say about the police. We shouldn't kill no police. We shouldn't kill anybody, and we know that.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, the Bible says vengeance is the Lord. So,
right.
you know, the cops, I feel like they shouldn't be excessive, as they say, with using excessive force.
Right.
Okay, now they say they're using excessive force when a man don't even have a weapon.
Right.
He don't even have a knife, letting on a gun.
Right.
But you need excessive force to bring this man down because he look big.
Right.
You're intimidated by his size.
Right.
No, we shouldn't kill him, but we need to screen our police officer better than what we're doing before we put him out here. You're going to take a crook and put a badge on him and call him an officer. He's really not an officer. He's a crook with a badge.
All right.
So we really need to get our thing together. And our mayor and our top cop, Mr. Tony Armstrong, you know, I like Mr. Tony Armstrong. I like our mayor.
Right.
But Mayor and Mr. Strong, we need to screen our cops a little bit better than what we're doing because they in the neighborhood, instead of serving and protecting us, they serving and robbing us, and they mistreating us, and they jumping on these young men and killing these young men, and they about to start a war that they don't even want.
Right.
We all don't want no war, no civil war.
Exactly.
But if you killing our young kids, you got a problem.
Right.
We all need to pray in that God that this thing don't happen. We don't want no civil war, but that would lead to anytime you killing 4 kids.
Now, you're right on that.
You can't expect me to smile and you slapping me.
Right. Exactly.
It's just that simple. But I'm a praying man, and I'm praying that God do something in our life. That He change this thing. God, matter of fact, said that we turn from our wicked way and begin to pray, humble ourselves. He say He'll heal the land.
Right.
We need a healing, y'all.
Thank you.
We need a healing, y'all.
Amen. Church is adjourned at this point.
I'm Tim Hervery again. We need help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where we begin.
We're moving right along. Last but not least. Now, let me tell you about this man. He is the father of my super intelligent intern, Stanley Shotwell II. The apple does not fall far from the tree. I'm going to have you stand up so people can see you on the camera. Mr. Stanley Shotwell the first. All right. Woo. Introduce yourself, sir, please.
Like Dr. K says, I'm Stanley Shotwell, a concerned citizen and a father. A father of 8 children and a concerned citizen, like I said. I am truly concerned not only about Memphis and Memphis politics and what's going on here, but also throughout the country. I'm a very concerned citizen. And that's about it.
All right, and we need more concerned citizens because a lot of people are apathetic.
Exactly.
They are living by default, not out there actually making their voices heard or voting or speaking out, but just kind of saying, well, you know, that's just how they do. And then we're going to just follow that. But we have to care and we have to speak out. And I appreciate all of you men being here today. We're going to go into break. You're listening to On the Couch with Dr. K. I am your hostess, Dr. K, right here on AM 990 Talk Radio. And we'll be back after these messages.
They need us. They need to hear His word. Whether it come from the minister to whoever. If you got a good word, tell somebody. Amen. I got my Bible out, my head down, I'm praying to the Lord. I got my Bible out, my head down, I'm praying to the Lord. I got my Bible out, my head down, I'm praying to the Lord. I got my Bible out, my head down, I'm praying to the Lord.
Are you considering buying or selling a home and don't know where to start? Call Sharon Brown of Twilight Realtors at 901-355-7271. To learn more about the services offered by Sharon Brown, visit her on the web at www.sharonbrown.cry-like.com or like her on Facebook today. Her success comes when your home is sold or you have the keys to your new home. Call Sharon Brown of Cry Like Realtors at 901-355-7271 for all your real estate needs today. Terrell Streeter Psychological Consulting is a firm dedicated to helping parents, schools, churches, and organizations assess and treat learning, emotional, and behavior difficulties in children. We offer services such as IQ testing, academic testing, behavior analysis, behavioral planning, preventive counseling, parent training, staff development, professional development, crisis management, and risk assessments, and so much more. To enrich the lives of your children, call Terrell Streeter Psychological Consulting at 901-650-2569 or email me at kstreeter5@aol.com. All right. And you're back. We're listening to On the Couch with Dr. K. I'm your hostess, Dr. K, right here on AM 990. And I just have a question for you, Dmercy. So are y'all dancing like that in church? Because that's like, make you want to dance a little bit. Y'all doing a holy dance?
We actually, I mean.
I did see your video, so don't lie.
It go back like the spirit. The spirit will take over. Like when I'm performing, I get into a zone, and when I'm in that zone, it's a zone for the Lord. God first before anything. All in this kingdom, So when I'm on that mic, I know it's for Him, and I just go full force. And when I move, I let I make everyone move. You probably saw my pastor. Pastor Darrell Griffin. He's my pastor, my brother. More like an uncle. He's all the above. So, it's just it's the power in the music that make you move.
Well, thank you, because I saw your video, and you were moving, you were influenced by the Spirit, so I really can appreciate that. But we have a caller, so let's go to our caller. Hi, caller. You're on the couch with Dr. K. You have a question or a comment?
Yes, Dr. K, this is Dr. Ken. How you doing?
Hi, Dr. Ken. Thank you so much for calling in. What is your question or comment, sir?
You're welcome. So the subject is it ever okay to kill a cop?
Yes, sir. That is the topic for the day in light of what has happened in Ferguson. Some people believe that those cops getting shot was justified, while other people believe that we should find some other way of making peace with law enforcement. What do you say, sir?
I think we should find another way, but then, of course, I go back to self-preservation still being the first law of nature. Am I correct?
Yes, very much correct. A lot of people feel like they are unjustly picked. I mean, we have lots of unarmed people who have been killed by law enforcement.
Absolutely, and I think they're taking their influence or their position to a whole nother level, and it's angering a lot of people, not just black young people, but it's angering a lot of us because we keep seeing a repeated cycle. Especially even with one of the young men was naked or something, and they would do it. Now, what threat could a naked person be? Come on now. What threat? And you have tasers on your side. I'm still trying to grasp that in my mind right now.
Well, Dr. Ken, you bring up a great point, and you're bringing us right into our stats and facts for today, because we are going to talk about the numbers of innocent people who have been shot and or killed by law enforcement. But then conversely, because on the Dr. K, here with Dr. K, we have to be even. We are also going to look at the number of law enforcement agents who are killed in the line of duty or shot in the line of duty as well. You have anything else for us, sir? You're always such a great supporter, and we really appreciate that.
No, thank you. I don't know if your stats going to say anything about how many law enforcement officers were reprimanded for their actions. Now, that would be real interesting. How many of them were reprimanded or just sent to another precinct as if it didn't happen? That would be real curious to find out how that went, because, of course, there are always facts that we don't know about because we're getting out from the media. But some things we just kind of just figure out something didn't go right there.
Thank you so much for calling, Dr. Ken. You bring up an excellent point, because actually in the stats and facts that Stanley Shotwell II, thank you, Stanley, found for us, he found that there was actually a study done looking at the number of people who were killed in custody, and because they were incorrectly reporting the numbers, they shut the whole study down. So we'll get to that. So you've hit on something, and I guess that's why your name is Dr. Ken, because you hit on things. You've hit on something that's probably another show. So we're going to take a break in a few minutes. Randa has walked into the room. Hey, Randa. Yay. And I just want to, before we take our next break, I want everybody to just kind of hear the stats and the facts, but also hear the reason why we are doing this particular show today. I was looking at one of this is on Infowars.com, and everybody's saying a war is coming. This is Infowars.com, and it says, Ferguson supporters celebrate shooting of police officers. Quote, best day Ferguson has had in years. And I want to read you some of the things people said in this particular article. They say, hashtag Chief Jackson steps down and 2 pigs get shot. Best day hashtag Ferguson has had in years. Next, lifeless. I'm glad 2 pigs wounded in hashtag Ferguson. LOL. Ferguson killed the pigs. The next one said, Ferguson pigs shouldn't grab people. Thugs deserved it. Wish it was Darren Wilson. Sound familiar? Michael Brown, Voderick Myers, and Antonio Martin. The next says, I heard 2 pigs in Ferguson got shot. Were they left on the ground bleeding out and dead like Mike Brown? This is why we have this show today, because people out there are angry. And although we may have sounder minds, there are people who are out there every day who feel like they're in a war, apparently, and have developed just an automatic hate and a just automatic negative reaction to law enforcement, and a knee-jerk reaction that says, yes, we're glad you're hurt. We feel like it's justified. Dmercy, tell us just your thoughts about, whether or not it's ever justified to kill a cop.
Well, me personally, I feel like it's not right to kill no one, We all know, it's a sin in a way. It's a lot of sins out here, but to me, that's just a sin that you don't want because you won't be able to sleep at night. It's a conscious thing, so I feel like it's not right to kill a cop. I mean, but they kill us, but revenge, that's not the right way to get revenge back on someone.
Okay. So now, are you saying it's not right because it's a cop or because it's the sin of killing?
The sin of killing. So
Okay, I can understand that. So we're going to you, Terrell. Now, you've talked about some injustices you have actually suffered at the hands of the police, minding your own business. So tell us about that.
Right. Like sometimes, I got a nice car. So, you know, I might be riding through South Memphis or something. You know, like I said, I respect the police, but sometimes they don't respect me. I got license and insurance, and I was told that you'll be all right with license and insurance. But when the police stop me, I ain't never all right. They make me cut the car off, make me get out the car, and I don't be done nothing wrong. Right now, my car look good on the outside, but when you look in the inside, it's all tore up, and they come from the police not respecting me, you know. And every time, they never found nothing in the car. You know, they're going on about their business that they done tore my car up, you know. And I ain't never appreciate that because I'm quite sure they won't want nobody in there tearing up they nice car, because I'm quite sure they got nice cars, you know. And I feel like that's how a lot of things happening, like Dr. Ken was saying, you know, the police, I believe they taking their authority, you know, the wrong way, you know.
Taking it to an extreme.
Where they can do anything to anybody, and that's not right, you know. They using their badge, you know, to treat us any kind of way, you know, because if they ain't had their badge, they wouldn't be able to do it like that, you know.
So it sounds like you're saying you feel like you need to run around with a sign on your car saying "Not a criminal today" or something. You know, just hey, right. Excuse me. You know, I'm not doing nothing today. Right. You know, please. You know,
I feel like
let's think about it.
I just pay for insurance for nothing. Cause like I said, it don't help. It don't help nothing.
Yeah, because you can't make a claim with insurance, like, you know, police got me. Please help me re-put my car together or something. You can't make a claim on that. Wow.
They don't want to hear that.
Yeah. Okay. So, Mr. Shotwell, tell us your thoughts.
Well, first of all, it is absolutely not right at any time to kill a police officer. And well, to anybody, unless you have to. But with the police officer, I don't see no reason. No reason to have to do that. It is wrong. I was listening to T talking about how he was stopped. I used to frown. I saw police officers. I've seen officers pull young men and women out of the car and make them sit on the curb while they go through your car. First of all, what happens there is that the reason why they do it is usually in a poor area, predominantly black area, and they can get away with it. But what the public don't know, you should say, officer, look, I need to see your supervisor right now. And if they don't do that, okay, well, I need your name. If they won't give you the name, look at the call number on the car. Get something that identify them. Go straight to that precinct just as soon as, and go and file a complaint. And do it every time you get stopped, because that is not right. Now, they may tell you that, well, we stopping you because we have a report that there was a car looked just like yours or a guy looked just like you. Well, that may well be true. But still, if you don't feel comfortable with it, go down there and file a complaint. If we don't complain on these things, nobody will say anything. Because, and they'll keep doing it. Now, you know, and the bottom line is they tend, and I don't want to say they, that's another thing I want to stop. Not all police officers are bad. Not all of them are doing wrong things.
Exactly.
But there's a segment out there that's doing these things, and I'd say file a complaint on them. And not only that, if you start going to vote, just take your butts to go and vote. You can have a lot of changes just like that.
You're right, and that's called being assertive.
Exactly.
And not being aggressive. And I think there's been an argument throughout time about the differences between Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. One was passive and one was aggressive. We, in this day and age, we have to find a middle way, which is called being assertive.
That's
what you're
it.
talking
Stokely
about.
Carmichael was one of the main ones talking about, you know, hey, look, we're tired of doing what Dr. King says. We want to take it by force. I see the strange similarity going on now.
And I'm like, now, if you got enough force to take it by force, then maybe so. But now, let's be for real. If your mama is collecting cheese from the government, you probably don't have enough. Okay. We have a caller. Hi, caller. You're listening to On the Couch with Dr. K. You have a question or a comment?
Yes, Dr. K. It's Brother Love. How you doing?
Love, speaking of butter, how are you, sir?
I am fantastic. I'm enjoying the show, and I wasn't going to call until I just heard the young brother talking about the police messing up his nice car. Well, what I was going to say was, young brother, don't take it personal. I've been, back in the 90s, I had a nice car, and I used to ride through Whitehaven quite often, and they would stop me, go through my car, tear my seats up, and in other words, they were looking for drugs on me as well, but I worked a job. And back then, I wanted to do something to the police, and I thought it was real foul for them to do me like that. But I do understand we do have some crooks and criminals out here that need to be checked and pulled over and checked out and that kind of thing. And I think to the young brother that was just speaking about messing up his car, in about 10 or 15 years, you'll appreciate what they do as far as that. And don't get me wrong, definitely not trying to protect or stand up for the police, but I'm just trying to get him to look at it at a different angle, because back then I felt the same way. I've had my seats taken out. I've had them to cut through the carpet in the back of my car, and my nice car was a 300 ZX twin turbo back in the day, and if I rode through Whitehaven with my T-tops out, you know, that young brother got to be selling some dope. So don't take it personal, man. And as far as your subject, and I'm enjoying everybody who said something. I mean, I think everybody had great points. But as far as killing the cop, no, it's not okay to kill anybody. You know, have I ever wanted to do something to a cop? Sure I have. Yeah, I sure I have. So to the young brother, don't take it personal. In a little while, you'll look back and you'll say, man, you know, I'm glad they're sweating some of these young fools out here, because we do have some young fools that need to be sweated.
Yeah, I know that.
But anyway, that's all I wanted, Doctor, and I'll continue listening and continue to have a great show.
Thank you, Brother Love. As always, you always bring just another way for us to look at the situation. So we certainly appreciate you and hope you continue to call. We have another caller. Hi,
yes,
caller. You're on the couch with Dr. K. You have a question or a comment?
Statement on you guys and let you know I'm proud of you guys. I'm really appreciate it.
In and out. If you're on a cell phone, can you get to a good place?
Yes, ma'am, I can. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, a little bit better.
Okay, sorry about that. Well, it's never okay to kill a cop, and I agree with the gentleman that just left the air. It's never okay to kill a cop. It's never okay to kill anyone. I think what we need to do, we need to all just take a deep breath and step back and understand the police have a job to serve and protect, and that's what they need to do, is serve and protect. And we need more community policing where if we see crime, we know crime, we need to report it. I think they call it snitching. But, you know, it's not snitching when somebody's, if they take it from you, you want somebody to tell, but if you see them taking from somebody else, you keep quiet because it's not you.
Right.
So we all need to reevaluate each other and look in the mirror and just take a deep breath.
Thank you so much. Is this Mr. Hobson?
It is. This is Petey.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We just so appreciate your calling in. And my sister was here going, that's him, that's him. So we appreciate your calling in with such an intelligent point of view. And you're right. Instead of saying snitching, we should say we are offering informational assistance. Because
Correct.
when something happens to us, we want we walk around saying somebody knows something and nobody says anything. And that's being assertive and not passive or aggressive. Thank you so much, and please continue to listen and call again, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. We have another caller. Hi, caller. You're on the couch with Dr. K. You have a question or a comment?
Yes, ma'am. I just want to comment. First of all, thank you for having me this afternoon. My name is Prince, calling from Nashville. I want to comment on the previous callers. I think his name is Brother Love. He mentioned something that I think is very detrimental advice to give to the young man who was talking about his car being raided by police officers. And I say that this is detrimental because this type of attitude leads to nothing, leads to no change. What I would recommend to this man is, instead of accepting it like Brother Love recommends, you file a complaint like the other gentleman on the panel suggested. You file a complaint against this because it's unfair that blacks are disproportionately pulled over and accosted by police officers when they do, in fact, do not have drugs at the same rate as white people, who are very seldom pulled over, whereas the statistics show that they are more likely to have certain drugs in their cars. So I would say to this young gentleman on the panel, do not accept that. Continue to have your voice heard. and do not become passive, but continue to be assertive. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate your comment. Please call in again and continue to listen. And I do want to point out, I think that what I heard Brother Love saying was not to just accept it, but not to take it personally. And that is the first thing that we all have to do, is not take it personally, so that you can keep a cool head,
right,
and you can act accordingly. And acting accordingly would include exactly what you've said, Mr. Shotwell, which is to report it and to vote. Randa, you have a statement?
So, do you have an exercise for us to like count to 10? Because when you're pulled over at that particular time, you're angry.
You're about to lose it.
You're about to lose your mind and other things. Get scared because you don't know what they're thinking, what they're going to do.
Right.
Or if they're thinking that you're this criminal or whatever the case may be. So do you have something that you would want to share with us to help us to cool down?
Okay.
If we should happen to get pulled over.
See, that's why I have you on here, Randa, because, see, you're so smart. You're with that, you know. I love you, too. You always take me to another place that I was not prepared for, but I will be prepared for this, because you're right. We talk about cooling down and keeping your cool, but we never tell people exactly how to do it. So I'm going to tell everybody how to do it right now.
Okay.
Because what happens is we lose our minds, and I'm going to even forget my stats and facts, Lord Jesus. Look at go to the website and you'll be able to see them. But what happens is we get agitated and we start moving. And now you're moving your hands, and then that starts to make the cop, who's already under stress, they're starting to, and they're probably talking to you saying, don't move your hands. And you're trying to, no, I just want to show you this. I want to show you that. No, what you need to do is start to breathe and start to count backwards from at least 10 to 1. Now, this is the type of breathing that I'm talking about. Now, don't do this in the car, but I'm doing this right now so you can see what I'm talking about. Take your hands and put them on your diaphragm, which is your stomach. Now, when you're breathing, you want to do what's called deep breathing. You're going to suck the air into your mouth and fill up your tummy at the count of 10. So let's do that together. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're going to hold it for 3. 1, 2, 3. And then release it for 5. Out of your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next time when you breathe, I want you to breathe and tense your muscles for 10 seconds. And then as you release it, release your muscles for 5 seconds. Let's do that together. Ready? Breathe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. Release everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That releases stress, and you can do that very quickly. And what it does is it brings oxygen to your brain. When you don't have oxygen going to your brain, guess what happens? You act a little crazy, and you're probably going to get shot. So don't do that. You need to get that. Start breathing. Remember, breathe. You want to breathe. The first thing you want to do, breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. And that is going to relax your muscles. It's going to bring oxygen to your brain, and it's actually going to make your heart rate decrease. So now, and the more angry you feel, do that, but do it slowly and do it the way I told you, and do it deeply.
Yeah.
If you do it too shallow, you will start to hyperventilate.
Right.
So you don't want to do it up here like a dog. You don't want to pant.
Right.
You just want to breathe deeply and feel it in your stomach, and then let it come out of your mouth. Yes. So D has a question.
That sounds like something that a woman should do. You know what I mean?
Well, you're the man, and you're the one getting pulled over.
A black man should do what you should do, and I heard this from someone else. Roll down all your windows in your car, and don't do anything until they tell you to do something. Simple as that. You know, if you get the movie looking for going to the glove box,
Right, no,
trying to
don't
get
do
your
any of that.
insurance. Don't
Right.
do nothing. Just roll down all your windows.
Right.
You want him to feel him or her to feel as comfortable as possible.
Right.
Because it's a high situation. They don't know what's going on. They probably pulled you over because you were a suspect. You might have been speeding.
Right.
Anything like that. So just
Right.
roll down all your windows and don't do anything. You know, put your hands on the steering wheel so you can see him. And then don't do nothing until he or she tell you to do it.
And
you know?
as your hands are on the steering wheel, breathe.
Yeah,
you
breathe,
have something to say,
definitely.
Mr. Shotwell. Yes. Exactly.
Listen, everybody that's on radio land and everybody here, I want you to hear me and hear me very clear. The best thing to do is, of course, is what Dr. K says. But when an officer stops you, keep your hands at a 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock position on the steering wheel. And if you have a passenger, just tell them to put their hands on the dashboard. If it's at night, turn the lights on and stay there until the officer gets up to you and say, you can say, excuse, how you doing, officer? Anything wrong?
Exactly.
And then what you're doing is you're letting the air out of that officer. If that officer comes to you and they have some problems, then you letting the air out of them by being extremely nice.
Right.
Being extremely nice, keeping your hand, like you said, keeping your hands visible
Right.
so they can see them, and all your passengers keeping their hands visible, and roll, like you said, too. Roll your window down before he gets there.
Yes.
And when he comes there, he'll see you. Go ahead.
Right.
Well, Mr. Shotwell.
Yes, ma'am.
You're going to have to speak into the mic, ma'am.
Mr. Shotwell, what if I have my four-legged dogs with me? And, you know, they don't understand putting their paws on them.
It's simple.
I think you're breaking the law. I think
It
they're
is
supposed
absolutely
to be,
simple.
They're supposed to be strapped down, aren't they, or something?
Well, yeah, but they're not going to bother you on that. Just let the dog run. As a matter of fact, that may help. They see the little cute dog, a beautiful lady. Oh, no problem. That is if it's a male officer now, okay. But
or
now,
a female officer with male
okay, we ain't going
tendencies.
there. But
Right,
anyway,
exactly.
that's the way you should do it,
Right.
And that'll let the air out of it. But you know, you may run across this one or two that may not be. And here's another thing too: it's not always a white officer that's going to do you wrong.
Right, it could be a black
it
person.
It could be some
with
black
a,
officers that do
yes,
you wrong.
Exactly.
You've got to keep in mind.
You got some Oreo.
Okay. You have to keep in mind that these people come from your community. These are people just like you and me.
Right.
And hey, they're gonna.
You don't
they're
know
gonna
what
screw up
happened to them.
Don't know what happened.
You know, they could have just been chewed out by somebody right before. They could have just. You just don't know. They are
got
people
mad
like
with the
you
wife
are.
or the husband or the girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever the problem. They got bills and they come with it, but they're supposed to be a cut above.
Right.
They're not supposed to let that happen, but they're human too. So, and that's where we come in, and we try to figure out. Well, there's something wrong with this guy or this gal, so I need to take this approach and just let them calm down.
But see, that goes back to what you were saying, Tim, about the selection process. You were talking about, well, tell us what you were saying again about what you feel like should happen regarding the selection of the officers.
Wow, I'm glad we got back around to that one.
Yeah.
I was just sitting there thinking, and I'm kind of long whenever I try to really be quiet.
Well, you got 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Oh, my God. I'm thinking right quick about how Marvin Gaye say, what's going on? Then he say, a war is not the answer.
Right.
Only love can conquer hate.
Right.
You know, and then he say, the trigger-happy polices. We still got these trigger-happy polices, and we still living in the 60s. We living in a civil rights time, but they say we don't need a civil rights movement.
Right.
But yet we living in a civil rights time. So, yeah, I got a lot I can say, but I don't have enough time to say it all.
I know. I need
and
2
I know
hours.
that we need these police, man, really. We need sanctified police, and we ain't got enough sanctified people. But we need somebody that we can really count on.
But you know
if I'm scared of Officer Tutu, that's not right. I shouldn't have to run when I see the officer.
But you know what? When you brought up that point earlier about what do they need to do, there is something in place at the academy, at the police academy, that's supposed to pick out these people
who have mental issues.
Right.
I think they call it the MMI.
The MMPI, and it's supposed to look at their personality.
Exactly.
Well, they're obviously picking people that are on the other spectrum.
Well, and then, see, that's where the problem comes with the police head. The people that's running the academy and the folks that are training these folks. You're supposed to be able to pick them out.
And are they administering the test properly?
That, too.
And do they have somebody inside who's telling people hey, this is where you need to answer on that test, because there are certain ways to answer, because I administer that test.
Yeah,
that is something that we give to determine personality in people, whether you're an introvert, an extrovert, a person who thinks, a person who acts, a person who judges, or a person who perceives. So all of those things come into play, and we are almost out of time. Oh, my goodness. So let's get to our 4-point star. Today, we're all talking about everybody wants to live and everybody wants to have a life. Let's say that together. Life. L-I-F-E. Life. Woo, y'all are so great. L. Live a life being assertive, not passive, not letting people run over you and beating you to death, or running over others and beating them to death, but be assertive. Vote, lodge complaints, do all the things that you're supposed to do. Talk to the right people in the right situations. I. Investigate the situation and look at it with objectivity. Put yourself in the shoes of the other person. You need to develop empathy. Cops, you don't know what's going on with that person. Person, you don't know what's going on with that cop. F. Forgive. Not for the offender, but for yourself and within yourself. You have to forgive, because E. Everyone wants to live with respect. Cops, offenders, dope dealers, non-dope dealers, officers, preachers, the strippers, the teachers, everybody wants respect and everybody wants love, because we all want to have a great life. Wow. We are almost out of time. I'm going to give everybody you only get 5 seconds to shine, and so you get 5 seconds to say who you are. Go ahead.
Once again, my real name Darryl, but I go by the rap name Dmercy, man. Everybody stay up out there, stay out the cops' way. Cops stay out our way.
All right. I like that. Go ahead, Terrell.
My name Terrell Streeter, and I feel like my brother just said.
All right. Good. Ditto. All right. Moving right along to
I'm Tim Hervery again with Hervery's Home Improvement. Give me a call at 598-2785. 24-hour call. Give me a call.
I am going to charge you $20. Okay. Go ahead.
I didn't want the panel to know that I'm a former police officer, been there for about almost 30 years, and I didn't want the public to know, because I wanted everybody to feel free to talk.
Right.
But trust me when I say, talk to that man or that woman like you would want to be treated, because I used to tell my guys all the time after roll call, go out and treat people the way you want to be treated first, and then let them set the tone. If you act crazy, I know how to act crazy. If you act nice, I'll treat you nice.
All right. We need more like you. More like you. Randa, do you have 5 seconds, ma'am? I know you can't do nothing in 5 seconds. I understand. Okay. You have been listening to On the Couch with Dr. K. And as always in parting, I wish you a life full of love, peace, and happiness. Remember, if you cannot be in love, then at least try to be happy. If you cannot be happy, then at least try to be peaceful. But when your peace has been disturbed, it's time for you to change your situation. You've been listening to On the Couch with Dr. K right here on AM 990 Talk Radio. Our topic today has been, is it ever okay to kill a cop? The answer is no. We need more love. We need to be assertive. Remember to like us on Facebook and go to our brand new website, onthecouchwithdrk.com, where you will find our stats and facts. And if you really want to see the numbers of people who are being killed and the numbers of cops who have been killed or injured, go to our website, check it out. We will see you next week on the radio. Thank you for listening and have a great afternoon. Good job, everybody. All right. Good job.